if you remember, we just learned that Boolean data type can only store one of these two values, true and false. Let's see what will happen in case I try to assign a number to this. So instead of assigning true or false, here I'm trying to assign a number 1 to 3. Let's execute this whole code and let's see what happens. So here you can see, in this case, I'm not getting any output. Instead, I'm getting an error. So the error location is line 11 column 1, and it is saying illegal assignment from integer to Boolean. Let's understand this one by one. First of all, what do we mean by line 11? Because we executed only this snippet, it is counting the line number from here. So this is line number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, then we have 7, then we have 8, then we have 9, then we have 10, and then we have 11. So it is saying we have an error at line 11, which is this line, column 1, which is nothing but this column, and the error is illegal assignment from integer to Boolean. That means we are assigning an integer value, or I can say a number, to a variable which is of type Boolean, right? This is what the error is saying, that you are trying to assign an integer value to a variable which is of type Boolean. So this operation is not allowed. If you see, now I'm getting a red line here as well, and this is also saying the same thing, illegal assignment from integer to Boolean. This confirms the fact that we can assign only two types of values to this variable, either a true or a false. We cannot assign any other value to this particular variable. Let me comment this code once again, and I think this is a good time to let you know about comments as well. So comments are nothing but statements in our code which the compiler ignores. Okay, so in case I'm executing everything from here to here, whatever I have written after these two slashes, right, this is going to be ignored by the compiler. So the system is not going to consider this statement as a code, and it is going to ignore it. So whatever I have written after these two slashes, for example, this statement, whenever Salesforce is going to compile our code, it is going to ignore these statements. Therefore, it is going to ignore this statement as well, and it is going to execute the statement up till here, and then it is going to ignore the statement after these two slashes. We can add a comment using the two slashes like this, or we can add a comment using a slash and then an asterisk, and then again a slash and an asterisk. If you do this, this is a multi-line comment. That means you can add multiple lines. For example, line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, right? Everything will be ignored as your Salesforce code is compiled. In case you want to add only one line, then you can just add 2 forward slashes, and then you can add a comment. So a comment is basically something which you have written for yourself, which basically signifies what your code is doing. So it is kind of a documentation that you write alongside your code, which specifies to the developer that what your code is doing. Let's say you wrote this code, and then someone else is coming, and that person is supposed to work on this ahead. If you will write good comments, then it will be easier for the other person to take a look at your code and understand that, okay, this is what we are doing right here. Let's see what happens in case I execute only these 2 lines of code. Any guesses? Pause the video for a second and let me know the output in the comments down below. The question is, what will happen if I execute only these 2 lines of code? Let's execute these. Here you can see I'm getting another error, and this error is coming in line 1, column 1. Okay, and it is saying variable does not exist is qualified. What this error is saying, it is saying that you are trying to assign a value to a variable which is of name is qualified, but that variable does not exist in the system, which means you have not declared this variable yet. If you remember, we were declaring a variable right here, and as of now we did not execute this statement. We only executed these 2 statements, which is why we are getting an error that this variable is not declared, or this variable does not exist. So what we need to do, we need to execute this statement as well along with these 2. So either you can execute the whole statement from top to bottom, or you can declare a variable here and then you can execute only these 3. Because we are only executing the selected text, so it's fine. Now if you see, I'm getting the correct output, which is value of is qualified Boolean variable is true. What we did here, we declared a variable, we assigned it a value true, and then the value is printed right here. Let's see what will happen in case I execute the whole code from top to bottom once again. Now if you see, I'm getting another error. This error is coming at line 8, column 9. So this is line number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, and then column number 9. So this is column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So error is starting from this column, right? Line 8, column 9. The error is saying duplicate field is qualified because you have already declared a variable named is qualified here. So the error is saying that this variable is duplicate. You are creating another variable with the same name, which is not allowed in Salesforce or in any other programming language in general as well. In a particular code snippet, which is going to be executed together, you can only have one variable with one name. So what we can do, we can remove this one, and then we can execute the whole code like we were doing earlier. And this time it will work fine. So if you see, this time it is working perfectly fine. So this is how you can declare a variable, and this is how you can use a variable in Salesforce Apex. I hope this tutorial was clear to you. I'll see you next time.